I'm here at CeBIT Global Conference with Terry from Bibra. Hello, nice to meet you. You just had a talk and you were talking about the driving forces in China. Tell me a bit about that.
So China, is a very complicated market, but a very fascinating market for everyone. And we see some very major trends, and one of those is the growing affluency. So there's a growing middle class in China that already today is around 300 to 350 million people. They might be as wealthy as the middle class in, say, a Western country, but they're very much in position to spend on the kind of products and brands that they're interested in. But that's growing even more. The second trend is age. So young people in China already make up almost half of all consumption, retail consumption. That will now go to above 50% in the next few years. And another trend is the rural countryside. So China, 1.36 billion people, about 600 million of them online, but that means 600 million are not. And these are people who may not have as much money as their friends and relatives in the cities, but also have needs which e-commerce can best solve for them. Because in China, retail is not the way we've seen it. We have very strong, in Germany, traditional retail companies who've been doing this for decades. They never really were created in China.
Talking about e-commerce, what's the main difference between what we know as e-commerce and the way it's in China?
I would say the single biggest difference is the role it plays. We like to say that in the West, e-commerce is the appetizer or the dessert. In China, e-commerce is the main course. So if e-commerce here is about 12% of retail, in China it is 50 to 60%. It is the dominant retail channel.
These are amazing numbers. By the way, you mentioned a lot of trillion numbers, not even million are enough. So you worked for American companies before, like Amazon and Yahoo. So now for a Chinese company, what's the main difference for you in your everyday work?
Well, China is a different marketplace, and for me that's been part of the great fun and adventure of joining the Alibaba team is I now need to learn how to do business and get things done in China, and it is in some ways. Things are similar. Relationships are important in any culture, in any business. In China, they're even more important. In China, it's incredibly important to understand speed. If you are not fast in China, if you cannot fulfill that consumer demand quickly, someone else will, because there's so many people, so many businesses who are so actively going after how can I solve and deliver against this consumer demand. So speed, extra important in China.
Are you speaking Chinese?
Unfortunately, I do not. I'm trying to learn. Let's call that one of the long-term goals.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good to have you here.